So I have been channeling for 9 or 10 years. I'm bad at math sometimes. And I've been on the spiritual path a bit longer. I was introduced to yoga and Reiki energy healing and different modalities back in the early 2000s. And it's really 2010, sorry, numbers again. So I've really enjoyed traveling in 2012 when it was the kind of shift in the Mayan calendar. I was called to the Mayan lands in Mexico, and I met some different teachers who were expats in Guatemala that kind of guided me in learning these ways. And since then, I've continued to share not just channeling, but also kind of the work with cacao as a heart opening medicine for ceremonial and energy healing spaces around the world. And yeah, so um, I've recently been writing a lot and also just taking the transcripts from the channeling I've done over the years and um, release them as books, but also working on some stories and the inner kind of sharing the personal experience of the spiritual path and the path around the world and much more. So um, yeah, that's I guess what I've been up to.
Thank you for bringing us a little bit into what's happening with you as well.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
would you like to give the name of your book so people can find it?
So if you go to heartflowtransmissions.com, you will see a bit about everything I do, and there's a book section there. You can see the very latest books are not actually on the website yet, but if on my YouTube channel, I think the links are in the most recent live videos. If you're interested in the recent book, I've just been kind of I work in a very non-linear way, so I'm forgetting to do some different things like that. But
And then they can also connect you and you will send out your updates on email as well.
totally, yeah. Yeah, and what you'll find on the website as well, if you're interested, it depends on what you're interested in. You can see in the different kinds of books. But the very first book I released was a lot of their work on kind of a galactic history and also kind of like a guidebook for every aspect of our lives and connects with astrology in some way as well, that it's like we're exploring the realm of all of the 12 houses of the zodiac. So I always recommend that one, the guidebook to living love on earth, where it all began.
Thank you. And that um, heartflowtransmissions.com is in the chat for everybody. So, and thank you.
Absolutely.
so with that, my dear Dante,
Do
we're
we dive in?
ready for your transmissions.
Yeah. Hello, and we say fantastic day to all of you. We speak on behalf of the Pleiadian Council and the Galactic Allowance supporting your planet in this process of evolution and awakening. And it is a great blessing and honor for us to be able to establish contact with you in this and many other ways. As we open this portal, of course, many of your other guides are present, connected with you, within you, and around you. And you may feel their presence coming closer and closer at times. We are always curious as we get to see into your reality, all of the different experiences that allow you to open your hearts. And that in and of itself is the clearest pathway to ensure that all in your life falls in its right place. When you live from that open-hearted place of being true to your inner self and true to who you know you are, you open the realm of deep connection between yourself and the other beings who see you. And we mean that both in physical realms and in metaphysical realms. It is through your own knowledge of your true nature that the other beings who sometimes put you to tests will then reveal themselves to you. So if it is a guide that you seek on some other lifetime or other plane, the best way to know them is to know who you are. For as you know who you are, you know also the deep soul, the oversoul, as some say, that you share between all of your incarnations. And that is the vessel through which the bleed through can take place, that allows for transmissions, that allows for memories, that allows for also even more fascinating exchanges to take place, wherein you may learn what your other incarnations have learned, and you may teach them what you have learned and they have not. And so it is in attuning to this open-hearted state that all of these interactions can take place. We are back. And so through this open-hearted state, all of these different interactions can take place. And now we want to also address something very important for some of you on your paths, and it may help others to guide those who don't even know they are asking this question. The question is, how do I know I'm on my highest timeline? And we will answer this in a variety of ways, because you can look at it from so many different angles. And first, we would say, when you're excited about being excited and excited about every single thing that you do in the day, meaning that from the moment you wake up, you're excited to be here in the world, in your body, to smell the roses, to have your breakfast or whatever it is you do to start your day. It means that you fill your life with a constant stream of exciting, heart-opening moments. And as you go about your day, you do it in that mindful way where you really connect to the living presence of love in all that is around you. You have your heart open and your eyes open to meet those who greet you on your path, not just in human form, but in the invisible realms around you, knowing that you live in a world with many visitors who are not necessarily always physical and visible to your eyes. And so as you live in this way, great transformation happens. It is not through magic alone. It is through the way that your own capacity expands, your own inner genius develops when you are constantly fully engaged because you're excited about what it is you're doing. This genius is connected to a word in some traditions for spirit itself, the jinn. And so really, oftentimes when people have these genius ideas, it is actually a multidimensional connection taking place. And thus we would say you don't always know when you are getting support from other realms, especially those of you who enter into the realm of imagination, invention, and exploring the novel and groundbreaking territories. You may find that as you enter into a deep realm of thought and creation, ideas come to you from nowhere, and a new personality starts to take hold of you, oftentimes without even knowing it's taking place. There is a bleed through from other parallel versions of you meaning perhaps, yes, future or past lifetimes, but sometimes it's also parallel versions of you from other human incarnations of the same life in a parallel universe. And so there can be so many different jinn, different energies that flow through you, bringing your genius. And you don't always necessarily need to know where it comes from in order to deliver that energy. So that constant flow of excitement does transform your life. And it, of course, requires the complete formula, meaning you let go of insistence on particular outcomes. You have no attachment. And nonetheless, you live a life of joy and dedication to whatever your purpose is, knowing that as you go about the journey of life, you may change what it is you do according to what excites you in any moment. Now, there comes to be great complexity to every person's journey. And so you have to also come to question at times in crafting a life that flows in constant excitement. What is the top priority? Remembering it isn't just any excitement, it is your highest excitement. And just as much knowing that there is only so much time. And so someone who, for example, wants to be a rock climber, a musician, an author, raise a family of 4, and learn 3 different languages will have an awfully difficult time doing that and still fit it all in. And so many of you get easily distracted by all of the shiny things around you. And there are indeed so many shiny things and offerings and potential pathways. There's an infinite amount of different timelines. And oftentimes, because you haven't really deliberately asked the question, well, what excites me the very most? You end up dabbling in something that you get bored with so quickly and suddenly feel empty. And thus, the practice of creating vision boards, or perhaps simply visualizing on a regular basis, what would your preferred life and reality look like, allows you to stay focused so that as you're going through your own flow and all of these different shiny distractions show up for you, you are able to recognize the truth of compensations, that if you dedicate your time to one thing, perhaps you don't have as much flow to direct towards your true highest excitement. And in recognizing this, you can take a moment to pause and listen to the pulse in your heart. Which frequency and which path really resonates the absolute most? Now, the final thing we would say about the question itself is that you can't take it too seriously, because if you start to worry, am I really on the highest timeline that's possible for me? You will inevitably begin to violate the last component of this formula, having no insistence on a particular outcome. The truth of the matter is when you remember your own inherent connection to source and you rest in it long enough to find your highest excitement in the moment, you are perfectly on the right timeline, and nothing else really matters. So it is when you start to question what might make all of this fall apart that often a self-fulfilling prophecy comes at play. The trickiest parts within your own inner being are those that attempt to protect you with their own self-fulfilling prophecies. It is the fragments of soul from past moments that a challenge was presented to you, and these parts decided to absolutely make sure that challenge would never return again. And in doing so, those challenged parts inevitably find a way to recreate the challenge again and again by imagining it and seeing it wherever they go. And so, just as much, you must joyously allow yourself to explore what are all of the different components of my own beliefs that steer me in different directions. Allow yourself to expand your sense of who you are, to expose the contradictions within you. Because when you do so, then you will start to break down the belief systems that sabotage you. Remember, they are not doing this out of their own ill intent. They're doing it to protect you. But the higher force of love wants you to recognize that there is an inherent safety when you step into the light of source. And this higher self of yours wants you to grow and expand and become something so completely new. And this is why sometimes your intuition and your heart guide you to these moments that expose within you a contradiction. And these are the moments that you get to expand through the power of paradox, recognizing that when you allow these seeming contradictory aspects of yourself to be visible and to have space to exist within you, and you allow yourself to explore them with compassion, curiosity, and an open, wise heart, you will find that there is great expansion and a catalytic propulsion forward that happens when you can reconcile all that has been and still exists within your own beliefs. Thus, in summary, you live in a vast universe that is conscious and alive, and you are co-creating with it at all moments and all times, not just with the other humans around you, but with invisible beings, both within you and around you. And these different levels of consciousness all come to synergize as you allow yourself to activate the flow of your own deep passion and excitement and enthusiasm. And this energy must propel you forward, and you can know that you bring into existence the most clear and fully realized version of your own preferred reality as you allow for all of your life to be saturated with excitement. However, knowing there are only so many things you can do, you must choose the ones that light up your heart more than anything else, and let go of all of the distractions that bring you to forget your own deeper purpose and intention. And as you do this, tremendous synergy takes place, and you may sometimes find unexpected support arriving in both human form and through the breadcrumb trail of whispers and synchronicities along your path that confirm to you you are being guided and you are never alone. So we thank you for allowing us to share this message, and now we would ask, how can we be of support to you with any of your questions or comments? Beginning with you.
There's questions. Ray, please.
And thank you very much for bringing that wisdom to us and such clear examples on how to better manifest and choose to direct our life in a more heart-centered, exciting way, and to have that discernment. Thank you.
Yes.
And my question is about spirit animals. Can
All
you can you enlighten us in the group, either individually or collectively, about our particular spirit animals which are relevant for us at this time?
You mean about the idea of spirit animals or how to connect with them?
Um, how about both?
Or your particular spirit animals? Well, that you will have to discover yourself, yes. So, spirit animals are representing your own inner archetypal qualities, and they are also your connection to the earth itself. You may naturally find these connections along your path. Perhaps animals present themselves to you in a meaningful way at a particular time in your life, or perhaps it comes in the form of visions and dreams about these animals. You may find that you've always been attracted to a particular animal or had a very deep affection for it, though you may find a true and spontaneous connection with a particular spirit animal by doing a meditation or visualization practice. This is often called the shamanic journey, as the medicine people of Mongolia were called shaman. And it is not just the shaman who practice this, it is all cultures around the world who knew that they had a spiritual relationship with the other beings that shared this earth with them. The indigenous peoples felt the animals alive with them in every aspect of their lives as they depended upon them and they lived close to them. In modern worlds, you have often encroached upon nature, and many of you live in more urban or suburban areas where wildlife is more rare. And for this reason, it is even more helpful to do these sorts of practices like the shamanic journey, where you go deep into the inner world or the underworld and allow these animals to present themselves to you. They may speak to you or communicate to you more symbolically. And some of you may be able to even merge with your spirit animals to find that you can shapeshift and enter into the body of these animals and visions. This can be developed as well through calling the animal into your body as you dance. In a traditional way, you can do it to the beat of a shamanic drum, but you're also welcome to dance to whatever music excites you, feeling that this animal comes to live in your body. Look at movements of this animal in videos and get to note its particular energy as you call it into your body and feel it live in you and through you. You may, through this sort of a work, find that you get connected with your own body's intuition, your own grounding, as the animal guides are particularly powerful in helping you to remember your more ancient origins, to remember some of the more biological impulses that exist within your vessel, in the same way that spirit guides help you evolve into a more enlightened spirit form. The animal guides show you the wisdom that exists already within your very body. And they also show up at very particular times when you may need some of their medicine. Now, one person may have many different types of animal spirit guides. The different guides can reflect different purposes. Sometimes this means different seasons of your life. You may walk closer to one animal guide than you walk with others, or in different areas of your life, this guide's medicine becomes more particularly important. You may have owl as a guide, and in a period that you find yourself going through a lot of darkness, the owl is there to help you see through the darkness and use the power of your voice and your hearing to find your way. The owl is just as much connected to cultivating deep wisdom and having a more expanded perspective. And so at times wherein you have to go through natural cycles of darkness and light, a guide like owl allows you to turn your head all the way around and to be able to see what others can't see. Following this, you perhaps will go into a different sort of connection to another animal. You might enter into a phase of living through the totem of the wolf. And this might be a time in which your connection to your community comes to the forefront, as wolves are pack animals, and wolves are incredibly loyal and playful, and their wisdom is more through that communal nature. And you might just even find yourself going out and howling at the moon. Wolf medicine could also just as much show up for you when you need to be there for others in your community, or you need the support of others in your community, reminding you to feel that connection to the pack. And so in this way, your different guides will show up for you in your psychic vision when different purposes are asked on your own journey.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much for ladening all of those responses with so much information. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Sue, please.
Thank you very much for taking my question. First of all, I'd like to say I just love how clearly you laid out how do I know if I'm on my highest timeline. Recently, I had the experience of doing an event with Brian Scott, and since that happened a couple of weeks ago, I've noticed a real shift in myself and feeling that love and joy like I've never experienced before. And I can see all these little things that keep happening that's showing me I feel I'm on my right timeline. But the thing that confuses me a little bit, and I've tried to sit back before and say, well, it'll happen when it's meant to happen, you'll get the answer. I have these projects that I want to do, but I keep getting confused which one it is, and I can feel passionate about all of them, and I feel a real connection to them, and then something else happens and I think, oh no, they're telling me now that's not it, it's this one. So I'm trying to work out what's going on when I keep having all these experiences. Like, for example, a homeless woman in the street that I saw about 12 months ago. I walked past and I looked at her, and the smile she gave me was so beautiful. And I started to speak with her, and it amazed me how she thought her life was so good. And she's saying she's doing fine, I feel great. And I thought, oh, I just couldn't believe it, that she was so happy. And it really, every time I tried to tell people, I was overcome with emotion. And it was almost like I felt she could see into my soul. So I thought, is this the way I'm meant to go? But then it changed again. And then something else came up, thinking that that's going to take a lot of work to put into doing that. And I'm not getting any younger. So I'm a little bit confused about what the messages are about what they're trying to tell me.
What was the first project you wanted to do?
Well, it first started off was about working to educate people about human trafficking and child sex trafficking. That was the very first one. And I spent 9 months putting together a proposal. And then that changed. Then I had plans of, as I said, working with the homeless, then also looking at medical stuff for people in Africa, you know, having a van that sort of went around to help the women in Africa. And then recently I've just had this plan, and it comes back to children again, is working with orphanages, and sort of I see it as a worldwide thing where there are and to set it up and to make sure that they're sustainable, you know, they can grow their own crops, they can do everything, and to sort of make sure everything's...
Out of all of these projects, which of them is most exciting to you?
Well, that last one now is starting to sound exciting to me.
All right, then the next question is, out of all of these projects, which of them is most accessible to you? Which of it is most in reach?
I would probably say that one.
All right. Then maybe all of these other projects were just to bring you to this point.
Right, okay.
And that's again, act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insistence on an outcome. Because you are all creative beings, whether or not you consider yourselves to be creative or artistic. It's a matter of creating your own experience of reality. And doing that involves trial and error. It involves facing uncertainty. It involves new ideas and checking your old ideas against present moment blind spots. And so that means that you're always going to be getting lots of inspiration, but not every download is meant to be installed on the phone, you could say. So,
right.
Why? Because you can't fit everything in the phone at once. So if you're downloading thousands and thousands of bits of information from your higher self, you can only work with so much of that data at any one moment, just as much as your phone only has so much RAM. And so oftentimes you will be cycling through exciting phases of your life, getting ideas, getting inspiration, but all of that data that you're gaining is actually meant to be used in something completely different than what you think it's about in that moment. But the fact of the matter is oftentimes exactly what your expectations and intentions are in that moment are designed so that you arrive at the place where a new portal opens up and a new fork in the road presents itself to you. So never get attached to your ideas and your downloads. Allow yourself to see that they themselves are living forms of consciousness that grow with time. So watch the tendency to jump towards quick solutions and immediate launches of a new legacy, and allow yourself to sit with your ideas with time and allow them to grow. When you know it's absolutely right, you will also be aligned with other co-creators who see what you see, and the first steps will be immediately presently clear.
All right, okay. Thank you. That makes sense. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Christiana, please.
Hello. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for all the information and wonderful reminders.
Yes, our thanks to you.
I would like to expand a bit on the animals. When I was a child, there was a well in the summer house, next to the summer house where we lived, and there was a little frog in there, and I loved him dearly, and I used to visit him often. And then there have been frog themes throughout my life going on still now. And I wanted to ask if you could comment on the relationship I have with the frogs.
Yes. Frogs represent, on one hand, healing and cleansing. They are very potent beings who represent the power of healing the heart and often using your voice. Their powerful mating calls can sometimes be a symphony that opens up multidimensional doors as you listen to them. So you might want to listen to some tracks of frog sounds and play them in the background during some meditations, hypnosis, or energy healing work as a way to call the medicine and the frequency of the frog into your realm and into your body. Now, frog is also connected with the idea of purification. And so sometimes you may be asked to be one who helps others in their cleansing process of clearing up perhaps both energetic residues and sometimes even helping physically clean spaces. Frog is often very sensitive because its skin is so absorbent. And so this is also representing your ability to take in energy around you, and it reflects your sensitivity. This sensitivity is the basis of that cleansing power. And it is your sensitive perception that allows you to be the one who opens the door for healing for many.
Wow, thank you very much for this.
Yes.
So my inquiry has to do with a couple of things that you have mentioned: imagination, invention, creativity, as essentially an opening to parallel versions of ourselves, future versions, whatever you wish to call it, counterparts. And the bleed through, the concept of a bleed through, it's an interesting concept as well to me. So recently, a friend of mine who is a phenomenal artist said that he was gonna do some group sessions in which he was gonna bring a model, and people go and draw and do whatever. And he invited me, okay? And I said, I've never drawn anything of any consequence. And he said, you just don't know until you try. And so I've been thinking about it. I said, yeah, okay, I'll show up over there and see what happens, But it comes to me as for the first time that I am not there's a certain feeling of inadequacy when you go into a group of people that apparently they know how to do something, and you're the newbie. But for the first time I felt, doesn't matter. The bleed through, you hit me with that tonight, because I often nowadays feel happy, and nobody can know why, not even me at times, so bleed throughs and me taking command of exploring things so that some of these parallel versions of me can touch me in some way. That's the concept. And what would they leave easiest, I feel, is things that are in the feeling nature and my ability to flow. Okay. Now, that's what I am getting. And I would like for you to assist me a little more, please.
So bleed through can be both from a future version of your soul or a past life, or it can be from another version of your own life on Earth in a parallel universe. And do you feel as if you've experienced some of these connections?
I feel like I'm experiencing how could I say, at the level of feeling nature, I am sensing that I'm experiencing a multiplicity of things, and through my allowing myself to flow through the ordinary things in life instead of saying, oh, I don't like that or whatever, just, hey, that's what it is. Let's do it, whatever. If it needs to be done, let's do it. For example,
Yeah.
I feel that somehow those future or past or bleed throughs from another parallel reality or Earth, whatever that is, they're essentially rubbing off on me.
Correct. Because whenever you are in that flow, when you're not resisting, your higher self is present. And so that means the veil's thin. You are in a frequency that you can resonate with and receive the energy and information from these beings. And sometimes it's just that feeling of presence, that feeling of love that exudes from within you. And other times it is something very different. You can actually sometimes visualize and get information within from another version of yourself having a waking moment in a cafe or walking down the street. But in order for that to happen, you first have to establish a deep contact with one of these soul counterparts.
Yeah, I have a good contact with my higher self. And
yes,
of course there's a constant, a better way of doing that for me, that at least that's the way I feel. But so it's good contact. And through that, I guess I'm getting more and more into all of these expressions of the true essence of what I am in future, past, whatever you wish to call it, basically. So thank you.
Oh, yes.
Does anybody else has any commentary or question? I would like to, this is sort of the last moment to express yourself.
I think it's wonderful that our group has so many questions which are so relevant to so many of us, and we were all able to have a chance to integrate all of this wonderful wisdom which came forth. Thank you all, and to the council.
Oh, great. Thanks to you as well. It has been a pleasure for us to co-create and meet all of you. And we wish you then a fantastic rest of your day, if that will be all.
Thank you so much. I think that's all for tonight. And
yes,
we're eternally grateful. I should say continuously grateful, because you are here and we are there with you all the time.
Infinitely grateful. And gratitude as the core vibration of our connection.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, Dante.
Hello. We're back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely powerful and very on cue with what we are all doing, what we're all experiencing. Very much. The thing about the animal guide, oh my God, we all are going to go into it, I am sure, in new ways. Even if you have done, the shamanic journey of, meeting your animal guides and all of that, you got new material to really get into it. It's very, very powerful.
Oh, great. Glad to hear that.
Okay, so here we are. It seems like we may have a little third session in progress, a kind of maybe shorter version, but that's also coming. Dante would like you to stay with us for a little bit.
Okay.
But I think that Ray apparently has somebody that wants to come through as well.
Well, I wasn't planning on anyone else coming through, but you had mentioned